Good evening and welcome to the Walking Dead support group. My name is Keith O'Brien. As always, Jason McCarthy on the far left and Alex Mann in the middle. I want to thank you all for watching tonight. And hey, I know, we'll go right to the kill count with Keith.
Take it away, Keith.
Take it away, Keith. Anyways, tonight's kill count. So I got 20 kills before the fire pit job. Okay, so we got 20 kills, and we all agreed in the other room that between the trailer and the pits, because it was a little hard to count, we went with plus 15. We originally went with plus 20, but then we deducted 5 because we had a few crispy critters there still moving. So we're going to go plus 15. So we're going to go with a total of 35 tonight.
I agree.
You got that? I like that.
Works for me.
Yeah, we had some good ones in there tonight too. So that's what I like. So what do you got, Alex?
All right.
What do you got?
Multitasking. I
Let's
apologize. So let's take it right to our Twitter followers. First of all, cue those up on the screen for me if you would, control room. Boston Betty, for those of you who don't know Boston Betty on Twitter, you should. She is a transplant, I believe, who has moved herself out to Hawaii. She's a huge fan of not only The Walking Dead, but everything Boston. All the Boston sports fans, so we love Betty. Next, we have Donnie, Amber Dixon, Shelley, and I'm not going to pronounce that one and butcher it, but you can see her on your screen, so we love her too. Our next one, as always, our two of our favorites are Furry Rose, Darylicious. Newer followers are Debbie Fowler, and Paige has rocketed on top of our charts for being out there, and that's good enough. Now, also, before we go too far, Jill. It's Jill's birthday, so tomorrow. So one of our big followers on Twitter, Jill, happy birthday from all of us.
Happy birthday.
There we go. All right, so let's move right into our topic of discussions for tonight. The title was Prey, and we don't mean prey, which we did see a lot of, but it was prey as in you're being stalking, you're hunting. I didn't really see a lot of that, so I'm not really sure that title didn't work for me. I don't know. I think you had a different title. What do you think, Jay?
I saw it. When you look at the scene of the governor going after Andrea, you have your hunter and you have your prey. That was something straight out of a horror movie for me. The dragging of the shovel, the whistling.
All right, so you're looking at that Andrea was the prey.
Yes.
Okay, I can buy that.
Yep.
Keith?
I went kind of like twofold, kind of like split the episode, because we see that the governor is readying his little, what is it, playroom? Workshop, governor's workshop.
Yeah, the workshop.
So at the beginning, we see him working on the workshop, and he's clearly working on, I saw it as a prey, and he wants Michonne. We all know he wants Michonne bad. But then, along the lines of what Jason said, after Andrea went over the wall, you know, he's out looking for her, and she's prey. And she's more prey than just to the governor, because she's walking through the woods unarmed. She's just got her little knife, and and she does get some walkers on the way. So she's definitely seasoned walker killer through trees and stuff like that. But she was a prey on several fronts there. The governor was looking for her, and a few walkers. But walkers are looking for anybody. So,
Right.
And
not for nothing, but Andrea was on fire tonight.
She was on fire tonight, yeah. I mean, she was on fire. I mean, she made it off. She got off the highway better than the other hitchhiker.
He never made it off the
He
highway.
never made it off the highway.
That was, I don't know if I saw that on Facebook or I saw on Twitter, but there was a comment about, will Andrea find the backpack along the way, or will she find the body along the way?
That wasn't on Facebook, so it must have been Twitter.
So that one I liked. So I guess, all right, yep, you sold me on that one, Jason. That's definitely there. So we knew going into this from the notes from AMC, there was going to be a traitor, or a saboteur, and a dissenter. And they played a little bit with that, so it's kind of back and forth. Keith, why don't we start with you? Give us your dissenter and why.
My first dissenter was Andrea, because she was definitely flipping out, and she wanted out of Woodbury bad. She tried to deceive Tyrone and his sister, and that wasn't working. She said, "Just forget that. I'm out of here." She's up the ladder, up the ladder over the wall, and she's running down the street. Next thing you know, she's practicing for the 5K marathon.
Kirk wanted to know, when did she become a marathoner? Like, obviously she's trained for a marathon the way she ran.
Seems physically fit.
That was some serious running.
That was some serious running. You don't have to run that fast away from work. I mean, but it's only, I mean, Forrest Gump doesn't run that fast.
Yeah, the longer you're outside of that prison, the more
Yeah.
chance that the governor's got to get you.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the
Anybody.
first time. I mean, I watch a lot of movies, and that's the first time you ever see somebody running back to a prison.
That's a good point.
Yeah, this is the only place where you want to be in
This is
prison,
when you
apparently.
want to get to prison. You know, between The Fugitive and Cool Hand Luke,
Right.
she's running in the wrong direction.
Jay, where are you at with the dissenter and the saboteur?
I
Because
agree.
we don't know who the saboteur is yet. Who do you?
I have a feeling, but
Well,
know,
this
as
is
far
the
as-
opportunity to say it, buddy.
as far as the dissenter, I agree with Keith. But to add to what he said, she also tried to create dissension by telling people, especially the new people, Tyrese, that the governor is not what he seems, that he's done some bad things, and you need to get out of there too. So she's trying to recruit people to her getaway. As far as the sabotage, that's got to be Milton. That's the only person I can think of.
Okay. I actually don't think that was Milton. Melton. I actually think that was either Tyrese or, now we know, Tyrese's sister. I think the arm didn't look big enough, but I don't think it was Melton. I think Melton will find Andrea in that room because he's the only other person who knows about it between those three. I think that's where that'll end up being. But we'll find out hopefully next week.
I say the governor knew they were watching too from the gallery.
I agree.
I think he really did.
Well, when you look at it, he was whistling into that tape recorder,
Right.
and as soon as he got within earshot of Andrea within that factory or whatever that was, he started whistling that
whistling again.
same exact tune again.
Right.
Yeah, but when he was doing that setup of his little torture chamber, what we saw is whoever is going to end up there, he's going to take pleasure out of it. He is going to film that and watch it over and over. He's already got it in his mind. So what he was doing was testing the equipment. Does it work?
Yeah.
I think that's where he was going with it. Although we do know Tyrese is definitely not down with this.
But doesn't he know? Doesn't he also know that sometimes the softer music kind of not just draws the walkers in, but kind of calms them down? I mean, I know he just had his own kid, Penny there, but he played soft music while he was, combing her hair until he ripped it out of her scalp, just to revisit that because I still think that's cool.
Right.
But it's almost like you say, he's going to record it, but he's also recording the whistling either to drive them nuts or either calm them down. I mean, I'm sure the whistling will calm them down. But, when he was whistling in the factory, as soon as he started whistling in the factory, it brought a walker closer to Andrea so he could find her. And then he smashes the glass, a la Die Hard, to listen to the crunching of the glass to find out where Andrea is going. So,
You can't discount the possibility too that the governor is using Andrea as his guinea pig because he doesn't want to mess this up when he finally gets Michonne in that chair.
no.
So I mean, Andrea's useless to him now. He knows
Jose.
that.
Right.
Hey, Zay,
So-
come down.
Yeah.
Good. Did we beat that one up enough?
I think so.
All right. So, not a lot of characters involved in this particular episode. But who do you think who played the most important role tonight? Keith, why don't we start with you?
I mean,
Okay, we'll start with Jason then. I'm sorry.
It's blank.
We'll go back to Jason. Jason, I
Jason.
apologize to Keith. Take a second to think about that as you're handling the Facebook feed.
I'm going to go with a word we
Help.
haven't. I'm going to go with a name that we haven't used yet tonight, and that would be Andrea. I think that she definitely she's the catalyst. that
Clearly.
started all this going. I know we haven't
Clear.
talked about her much tonight.
Clear. That's for furry
Is that
rose
clear to
and
you?
Feralicious. We're clear. And you know what? I agree with you. I think Andrea, I know you kind of got on the bandwagon a little bit here, but let's
I
face
did,
it.
but-
I've been a huge Andrea fan long before they showed her half naked running through the governor's house. I'm clarifying how long I've been a fan.
You
of
were a
Andrea.
fan right after that.
No, I was a fan before that. I truly believe Andrea is she's going to be one of those characters that lasts. I think she's
She had
really had the pivotal role. She had literally the most kills tonight.
Yep.
She that whole behind the tree and then the arm comes out. That was fantastic.
That was a good one.
So it was great to see how that went down. I was really happy with that. So I think she's the most important character of the tonight. Plus, at the end, she stuck to that chair. I'm going with that movie with the dentist, The Running Man, the original Running Man with Dustin Hoffman, when the dentist had him in the seat, and he goes, "Is it safe?
Is it safe?
Is it safe?" And that's where it's gonna go bad.
Everybody be quiet or the bunny gets it.
Right. Okay, so we did tease today about killing off a major character. Generally speaking, between Facebook and Twitter, a lot of people thought Andrea or Melton. I'm thinking Beth is going to go sometime soon.
No.
That's who I think is going to be.
Carl
the
will be
leader
on a
this.
super rampage.
Now, who are we considering a major character?
That got discussed too. Anybody?
Well, that upset a few people that we did throw Melton in as a major character.
That's why we need to be clear on that.
Clear on that. Okay.
Oh,
well,
boy.
let's get clear on
it's
that.
gotta be one of those
If you have never been referred to as a red shirt from Star Trek on this program, The Walking Dead Support Club, then you are a major character.
True.
Yes.
That's true.
Okay. So you have to be the sixth member of an away team to not be a major character.
Yes,
and-
Kirk, you're right. He's a sadomasochist. Go ahead, keep going.
Go
The
get-
red shirt.
Yeah, you interrupted me. Red shirt. Along the lines of Andrea, Christina on Facebook says she does okay when there's no one else to rely on. So not yet another
Absolutely
Andrea.
true.
I mean, Andrea had her own, as we like to say, off-campus episode tonight.
Right.
And it was pretty good. I mean,
She was way off the grid.
she's way off the grid. I mean, she's
way off.
running down the road. She got off the road, made some kills.
She was so close.
She was so close. She was so close. She almost made it. And poor Rick's like, did I see Lori again?
I know.
No.
That was the thing. From the distance, he knew he saw something.
Poor Rick.
But because he's had this moment, and he's had to admit, last week when he was with Michonne, he goes, "You drive, I see stuff."
I see stuff.
That's I see stuff, and those things over there scare me. Sorry, wow, we're just killing every joke on the Dead tonight. I love it. Clearly, we're having way too much fun, and we haven't even brought up Philip really.
Connors.
Phil
Phil Connors.
Yeah, you ruined that joke. Keith just killed
Blake.
his
Phil Blake.
best joke.
Phil Blake.
So the other question is that people are really talking about between Facebook and Twitter is, will Rick give up Michonne? And you had a great theory, but I'm going to go to Jason first. But go ahead, Jay. Do you think he's going to give him up?
I know we discussed this earlier. I really don't think he's going to. When you look at the bonding that Carl has finally been able to do with Michonne, he's lost so many people that you almost can't take that away from him at this point, especially as his father.
Right.
But well, I mean, what do you do though, as far as is it going to save your group? Would you rather have him lose somebody he can look up to and bond with, or would you rather make sure that he stays alive and the governor stays away?
All right. I'm going to answer it, then I'm going to throw this to Keith because I think Keith had the most interesting theory on this, even though I don't agree with it, but I thought it was good. I don't think he's going to, and the reason I don't think he will is strictly from a tactical point of view. You don't have anybody in your group, including Rick and Daryl, who can kill like she can. She is slices and dices and goes.
Yeah, she does.
Plus, he started to bond with her. So, I really don't think Rick is going to do that. I think Rick is starting to kind of come back from that dark side that he had to go to. I think he's starting to have this Phoenix event for himself where he's kind of re-emerging. So I don't think he's going to give up Michonne. But, Keith?
Well, my theory was during the week. I think it was like Monday or Tuesday on Facebook when. Just a quick shout out to Sandra from Germany, who's watching it on like Monday.
Yes.
She watches The Walking Dead on Monday, then watches our show, and it's like makes for an interesting Monday afternoon. But what I had said was that Rick doesn't give up Michonne, but when push comes to shove, if Rick's with Michonne or they're out on some, run or off campus or they're attacking, I just don't think Rick saves Michonne. I think he lets her go. if the time comes. But along those lines, I still say that Michonne and Carl are very good friends, and they bonded. You know, I think they bonded more than Rick and Michonne bonded. I believe that they bonded too on that little trip to see Morgan. But I just see that that's part of some kind of cliffhanger that, you know, Rick won't give up Michonne, but they'll make an attempt, or there'll be an attack on the prison, attack on Woodbury, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, do I go save her, or do I say, I tried. I'm sorry, Carl, I tried. But I just hope that, we talked about that online. I just hope Carl doesn't suffer.
Right.
He runs after Michonne, and then he gets captured too. So
Well,
cliffhanger's coming, 2 weeks.
time will tell. Time will tell. And there is a spoiler out there. The Rolling Stone article. Chris, who's working our control room, had forwarded that to me, and then a couple people started talking today about, what do we think is going to happen. I said, well, here you go. This is threw it out there and threw that out on Twitter. So basically, looking at like 27 to 29 characters being killed off. So let's do quick math. You don't have that many people.
Not that many people,
So, which is going to lead me to something I had said in the other room. One of the things I had noticed, and I find it interesting, they certainly kind of knew this topic was coming, but not, I think, at the level they have with gun control in the country right now. And so all of a sudden, and you have the story of the dictators who disarm the people for the sake of the people. I'm disarming them because these people who are defending you need these weapons. And yeah, I'm a pro-gun guy. I have guns, so you can write me angry letters. But
you can just carbon copy him to me too.
Right, he's disarming the population and going to war. So obviously he's not taking everyone with him. And by the way, we did notice he's disarming everybody except for Tyrese, his sister, and the two other guys.
Yeah.
That's kind of strange. He's trusting the strangers more than he is the people who've been there, who've made their way, and he's giving them pretty powerful guns. So you have this disarming of the population, and I think and I had said this in the other room. I think what could very well happen is near the end of this, if we got to wipe out that many people, you've now disarmed Woodbury, and as he's coming off to war, no one's watching the gate. And so what's going to happen? Another herd.
Yeah, herds are good.
The herds.
Herds
It's a
are good.
great way to end it.
Great way to end the season. A little cliffhanger. We got a herd, but you're right.
Right.
I mean, they're like collecting weapons. Why is he collecting weapons?
Because he, put it this way, he knows people are scared and worried. He's worried about insurrection.
Insurrection.
He's worried about them taking over.
But it could, and I agree with you. It could cost him his little slice of heaven.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Heaven's gone.
Heaven's gone.
You don't have a call to arms and then go into war and think that you're going to have this nice peaceful thing.
If you recall what he said, the governor, it's more fearful the threat of walkers than it is a gun in the face.
Right.
At the end.
And that might reciprocate when you look at, he's disarming and taking away all those guns, but someone's going to let a bunch of walkers in,
Right.
Same person.
I wonder if
probably
that's
was
kind of a
with-
foreshadow.
Right.
Or is it
And
the
then
same person
you know what?
that
The
lit
other thing
fire?
is he's stockpiling
Biters.
biters.
He was.
Trying.
Is he possibly going to use them in Woodbury?
I think that idea flamed out.
Oh, jeez. But you know what? I got to.
And that's how you know this show is live, because
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming. And
I didn't
got
see that
nothing.
coming. I mean, wow.
That's a tough sell, Jay. Thanks.
That's pretty good.
Worth a
though.
shot.
You gotta admit that was a good one for him. Quiet Jason over
Yeah,
there.
I actually, you know what? The other thing I'm waiting for is all those fan pictures that come up, the memes and everything else. I can't wait to see.
Do we have one?
I can't
Probably
wait
have
to
one in
see.
about 10 minutes.
I know. Now that I've said this, if you got one, send it to us. There's going to be those funny pictures with the graphic, the title sequences over them. Basically, I like my medium rare. Instead of the pig roast, it's a Walker roast or a biter roast.
Since Jason doesn't have a laptop over there.
Yeah,
Kinda.
He's got his phone. We get a Facebook posting by Christina Pransky. Boy, Jason, you are hot tonight.
Ooh.
And I just can't wait to see what your wife comments on that.
Yep.
Yeah, well.
Heather, you're up.
No, let's go. Come on, quick.
So
quick.
if Andrea, this is a question on Facebook, if Andrea had killed the governor, what do you think the outcome would be? Phil would be dead.
I think Vinny needs dictionary.com
That's it.
on his phone.
Let's just pick on the people helping us. That's always a good idea.
Sounds out on 39.
How
Sounds
come
out.
you guys are green?
St. Patrick's Day.
And one other thing, when Andrea was running, what came to my mind was the Rocky theme. So you know there's going to be a video snippet of somebody. She's going to be running, and you're going to hear that
Yeah, the background music.
Does this count as a meme?
What?
Yep, and he's coming home to me.
There you go.
There you go.
Heather has answered.
Heather
Apparently,
has
Heather is
answered.
also watching. And one of the things that we had heard in the room, Chris had brought up. I brought a shovel to the knife fight, and you know what?
That was
The
a good
governor
one.
was not very well armed until all of a sudden we saw the gun, and so I really thought she was getting back to the prison. You know, and that,
Yeah.
especially that little sneaky move at the door, where he's like, "Come on, you're coming home." She goes, "No,"
Nope.
right behind the
Right the
door, and
door?
he's like, "Okay, fine, cat and mouse," and all of a sudden, like there's a herd of buffalo coming down those stairs.
Yeah.
You got to think too. She almost couldn't get back to the prison because there goes all the debate and discussion over will he give up Michonne because he's not going to even show up at that point.
Well,
'Cause
you know
he
what?
knows they're all going to be killed.
I think they could have gotten her into the prison. I think she could have seen Rick, and she would have said, "Are you really going to give him up?" And then Rick would have tried to corral her too. I think no matter what was going to happen, she was going to get corralled.
Yeah.
And she was definitely to be done. Billy, we'll bring that up in a few minutes, Billy.
He's not watching, so.
So let's go to Kill of the Night. Keith?
Kill of the Night. I got that.
Wow, we're killing
I
you
know, we're
tonight.
killing tonight. Oh, it's a long day.
Okay,
Long
hold
day.
on. Come
I
back,
do
control
like.
room, come back to me for a second.
No, I got it.
If
I'm
you
good.
would.
I'm
Okay.
good.
Listen, this is what we do for you guys. Not like the copycats on YouTube. We actually have like scripts. Okay, that was a
Whoa.
great shot. All right, earthquake. We actually have scripts. We take notes, and it says who's up next.
Who's up next?
Right? And so when I threw that line to him, he should have known we were going to him.
I was on Facebook.
I was on Facebook. Now,
Pay for that one
the
later.
shuttle blew up. I was on Facebook.
I had two and I was going to pick just in case Jason stole one.
Okay.
I do
So
that
here
often.
it is.
So what do you have? Kill of
I
the
have
Night.
Kill of the Night. Kill of the Night for me is the arm break.
Okay.
The arm break through the tree, and she comes around and stabs him. I like that.
That was good.
I mean, there was a couple of kills after that, but,
All right.
you know, Andrea definitely had a lot of good kills tonight.
And
like
what
that.
Kirk also says is that she's a ninja. I think he means, I think he was talking about Michonne, but tonight I think we saw a little bit of Andrea ninja.
Yeah.
Andrea,
Jason, your kill of the night?
Yeah. Kind of like Keith, I had two. There's the one where he just, the governor in the factory just brought that guy's head down right on that rebar or whatever that was.
yeah,
Yep.
piece of factory.
And I'm just
That
going
was
to shut
good.
up there because I think I know what your kill is, and I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, my kill of the night. No, we're getting a sign. Nope, it wasn't the shovel. Actually, yes, I think it was the shovel. My kill of the night was when the governor cracked that guy's head open like it was a Cadbury Easter egg.
That was
That
Yep.
was awesome.
That was the shovel.
That made my day. I was like, oh, I'm so ready for Easter. That was great. I can't wait till one of my kids bites into that. And then I go, ooh, that looks like a Walker's brain.
Looks like Walker Brains.
That's awesome. And you know what, Sandra? When you watch this, I want to know what your kill of the night was because I'm curious. And you can post it in German because thankfully
Bing translates it.
Well,
Bang!
I'm a
Honest.
Google guy, but you know,
Yeah.
I Google and I Oogle.
Actually, isn't this the line of the night? Boy, Jason, you're hot tonight.
Yeah, you know what? That might
That
be.
might be
Jake,
line of the
you're
night.
kinda
I
hot
thought we were
tonight.
talking about the show.
Thank God.
We are talking about the show.
The air conditioner
Oh,
just kicked
I
on,
have one
too.
for the other
Must
show.
be you.
Well, it still doesn't matter. Show's a show's a show.
All right, so we're coming into like the final 5 minutes or so here. So, best line of the night, and according to the script, I get to go first. Take them back to town and do some knitting. Loved it.
Love that.
That was great. Martinez had a great line. Just take them back to town and do some knitting. It's like, oh boy. And you know what? You could tell that hurt. Keith,
I'm going with Jason, you're hot tonight.
Jason, you're hot tonight. Jason,
Thank you,
look at
Keith.
that.
You're
Look at that. You're
welcome.
blushing.
Oh, God.
You were getting so comfortable on camera until just now.
Yeah, I was. Anyway, mine was not so much funny. It was kind of the cliffhanger at the end when the Mindbender.
Mind
Melton.
says,
Milton.
I hope you find out who did it. And the governor says, I already did. You know, that was, to me, that was the setup. That was my favorite line of the night.
So you think the governor knows?
Yeah, I think the governor
The
knows.
governor knows.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? That brings up one
Well, the
other thing that
quiz-
I had said in the other room. Melton is obviously very disillusioned and realizes what Phil is and what he's capable of. But he said, "This is my home. I don't want to go anywhere else. I want to be here." That's going to be his death sentence. That's how he's going to die. He's going to die in this town. And he's just not smart enough to shut his mouth. He doesn't understand telling the governor the truth. I don't really believe you, and what are you doing is going to get him killed.
Yeah.
He really thinks he's supposed to, at this point, tell the sadomasochistic maniac the truth. He's supposed to still be a good consigliere.
But therein lies the disillusion. He still thinks he's savable and still has that good side.
Well, what was the line the governor asked him? Do you still think that there's a glimmer of these people inside them? Well, yes. Well, then what about Penny? So, and he even said, I've known Philip for
Connors.
a while. Phil Connors, thank you.
Connors.
For a while. So, you know what? I really think he does believe. He's like, Luke Skywalker trying to save Darth Vader. No, it ain't happening. That's another movie, kid. You're done.
Yeah.
Just so you know. So we got line of the night. Everybody's done?
You know, I don't know.
All right. Jason, what'd you learn tonight?
I learned that it's possible to barbecue zombies in every level. You can do rare, medium rare. I mean, they had charcoal. It was great.
So the ones that were still alive, still not dead.
That was kind of rare.
Are they tartar? Is that what it is?
That was rare.
Walker tartar.
Oh.
Like sushi.
Thank God the camera didn't have that.
And you
face
got
on.
them. And you got them in the trailer, so you got them to go too.
Right.
You got their own little parking spot
That's
to
a
go.
good point.
Keith, what did you learn tonight?
What I learned tonight is the governor is completely psychotic, but he is in complete control of what he wants.
Yes.
He's got his little workshop. He sent Martinez. He's got Tyrone going with
Tyrese?
He's got Tyrese and his sister and his group going with Martinez to the pits, and then he goes after Andrea. He's off the wall psychotic, but he really knows what he wants. He's in control.
I agree. So what I learned from tonight is Andrea and Michonne during their little flashback. That to me was like a Walking Dead version of Thelma and Louise. That was, it's us versus the world, and
Oh,
we're
what,
gonna
the
drive
beginning?
right off the cliff, right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We never did touch it. We didn't touch on that. We had
And
some
that's what we learned was, I learned tonight that those two biters, walkers, whatever, we really thought that they were from the comic book, like her father and her fiance. And it still may be, but we learned a lot more about her and those two. I think she probably found out about how you can disarm them by accident. Like, she took their arms off, she took their jaws off out of anger and rage. They probably held her, they probably did something to her. And so she took it out on them that way, and then all of a sudden,
Right.
now they're nothing.
And that, I agree with you, because she said before the cutscene, before the credits, she said they got what they deserved.
Right.
So, but the whole flashback at the beginning of the episode kind of, relived. I think helped us through this episode. Helped us relive that Andrea and Michonne were together for a while, and now all of a sudden Andrea was alone through this whole episode. So, a little bit of flashback. Yeah.
And Billy, who is maybe
At
catching
home.
the streaming version, what I learned tonight: when you feed a bad guy to the walkers, always make sure the walkers finish the job.
This is true.
Absolutely, that is a lesson we've seen a couple of
This is-
times. Because Merle,
Merle's done it.
Phil
Phil Connors. He's done it.
by the way, if you're new to this, Phil Connors is a joke that we came up with in regards
They
to
had the governor sent the truckload into the prison,
Right.
truckload of walkers. Walkers didn't finish the job.
right.
Great little line of the night right there.
So Billy, absolutely, we totally agree with you on that one. So Keith, why don't you take us away if we have nothing else to cover
I
tonight?
have nothing else. Do you have anything else there?
I just have a
Got
question.
anything else there,
Go
hot
ahead.
boy?
What was with the whistling?
Um,
If that's not completely nuts, I mean, what is?
Maybe he's a Kill Bill fan. Wasn't
The
the right.
worst
It wasn't
part
the right
is-
whistle.
the worst
Wasn't the
part
right
is-
whistle. Oh, and he's got a patch, just like what's her name?
Yeah, the Daryl Hannah character.
Daryl Hannah character.
Wow, we can't whistle.
Yes, we can.
All right, Keith, take us home.
All right. From all of us here at the Walking Dead Support Group, myself, Jason, Alex, all our Facebook followers, Twitter followers, if you're on live stream tonight, if you're watching from Germany tomorrow, have a good night.
And let's get our Chris in the control room.
Chris
Vinny,
helping us out in the booth tonight. Chris Mann, yep.
And Vinny working
And,
our
Vinny
internet
working-
line over there.
Vinny
So,
Giacomo working the line.
and there we go. Have
There
a
we
good
go.
night.
Have a great night, everybody.
Good night, all.